Hey, and welcome to my Shopping Simplified. I hope these tips for making healthy food choices will really help you as you are on your journey for a healthier lifestyle. Um, Really quick, what this is not a list of to-dos that I expect you to follow. You can take this information and make it your own, how you believe this can work for your family and how you are planning on eating and implement from there. Remember, changes is not always easy. You can trial and error. Some things may work for you and some things may not. Um, but it definitely doesn't happen overnight. And I want you guys to realize that celebrating the small steps and victories that you have along the way is so much better than just realizing how much farther you have to go. So, um, just to remember to do that. Start small and go from there. First things first, I just wanted to let you know I'm not perfect. I don't have this all down. I don't always do this myself. I'm working on it. I want to make this a habit for myself. Um, but I'm just learning things from experience, things I want to do, and things I've read. So if you have some tips for me that can help me out, I would love to hear them. Please let me know. Let's get right into this. Meal planning. What is the big stinking deal? I know it takes initial time right off the bat, and it can be a turnoff. I know it was for me for a long time, and I still sometimes struggle with taking the time to do it. But in the long run, it saves us a lot of time. Saves us time at the store, so we're not wandering on the store wondering what to get, and it saves us time at home during the week when we um, don't have to quick try to scramble and find food. I know. Um, it definitely can save us money buying just the things that we need instead of thinking, oh, I might get this and I might not, or buying too much of something and then it going bad, which stinks. And it also saves time because we don't, or it saves money, excuse me, because we don't eat out as much, perhaps. I don't know if you're like me, the times that life is busy and I'm tired and it's supper time and I have nothing prepared, no leftovers. It's so tempting to just say, forget it, let's go out to eat. um, and it also, like I said, prevents waste in the fact that we don't have to buy more than we need and we don't have things go bad in our fridge. So let's look at how to meal plan. The first big thing is to pick a time. And I recommend dividing the steps of meal planning and prepping up a little bit because it can get kind of overwhelming if you do it all at once. So like today's Friday, take today to look at your stuff and excuse me. Here you go. Here you go. And make your meal plan, and then tomorrow you can go shopping, and then Sunday you can prep for the week. So it's not all at once, but do it when you're relaxed, not super stressed, if you can. Take my tip: sip on some coffee while you do this, or something relaxing. But first off, I want you guys to do is take inventory of what you already have. Look in your refrigerator and see what's about to go bad, and write those things down and star them so you can plan on using them soon. And what would you like to use up that's in your pantry or in your freezer this week? What sounds good? Write those down and you can utilize that in your meal plan. Next, I want you guys to look at your weekly grocery store sales, or look at some coupons that you have that you can use. Dylan's has it all online, and you can even load coupons to your cards if you log in on their website. Aldi's has a ton of sales, and of course, Walmart will price match for those. Another good place to buy is at Costco. They have sales, and that's in bulk, so you can buy and use it for a couple of weeks, especially the freezer stuff. Make a meal plan based on the steps above. So if you are really trying to save money, those are the steps to use to get the cheapest bang for your buck. If it's something that you don't really care about saving money as much as just having a meal plan ready, then you can just look up online already made meal plans that have the grocery list already there. But if you really want to utilize what's on sale and stuff, then it takes a little bit more time to make your plans. But if when you are making your meal plans and grocery lists, if that just seems so overwhelming to make every meal, start small. And I would suggest choosing supper to plan, since that's kind of the biggest family meal, I guess you'd say, where y'all want to sit down together and enjoy a nice meal together, start planning your suppers and then go from there. And also remember to account for leftovers in your plan. And a big tip, and I think one that takes just a little bit more thinking but helps so much, is to try to use the main meat or a main vegetable in two different meals so that you aren't having to go to quite as much work. Also, I love Shakeology for the fact that it is an easy addition for breakfast. Excuse me. Ensuring I get my nutrition first thing in the morning, and it's a meal that I don't really have to plan. Ben and I both drink it, so that makes that really simple. When we are grocery shopping, I just have a couple tips for you. Just remember that the outside of most grocery stores is where the fresh foods are. So you want to stick to those for your main food sources. Fresh is so much better. And if you are looking to have a healthier diet, you really want to focus on eating more fresh than processed foods. You also want to have a balanced meal. So all these different food categories need to be in your grocery list so that your body gets the adequate nutrients that it needs from different types of foods. 3, just don't go to the store hungry. Have you ever? Because maybe you can handle it, but when I go hungry, I get a little hangry, angry and hungry and not wanting to be there, and I want to buy everything that I shouldn't buy. So that is just a tip for you. I sometimes even bring my water bottle in and just sip on some water while I'm doing it. Um, Lastly, for your produce, remember fresh and frozen are the best options to get, and sometimes frozen is better than fresh. Local is awesome for fresh if you can get it. That's equals the best nutrient value you can possibly have. And canned is the last option. Just remember, canned foods are cooked at such high temperatures, there really isn't anything alive in there anymore. Obviously, they don't want you to get sick, so they cook at high temperatures. So there really isn't that much nutrient value in a canned food item. If you're budgeting, try these few tips. Try to buy the fruits and veggies that are in season. They are definitely a lot cheaper at that time and more likely to be local. And you could also grow your own vegetables or fruits too, and freeze some for later, like corn on the cob, tomatoes, green beans, etc. Also, like we were talking about, looking for the sales before your meal planning. That will definitely help save a lot of money. You want to stock up on frozen vegetable sales, like Dylan's has a 10 for 10 sales, for example. Those things will be nice and you can use them later, but save money by getting them when they're on sale. Also, try buying the less expensive meat. There's a lot of different things that you can do to bring out flavor. So maybe chicken thighs are a little cheaper, this is an example, than chicken breast. Those are still really, really yummy, and sometimes I like them better because they have the darker meat. Try buying a whole chicken. That's normally the best bet. You do have to do a little bit more work with that, just because it's all on bone. But you can, even if you are super into health, you could make your own bone broth with those organic whole chickens, which is amazing. And the perk of having a whole chicken is most likely that will be able to be used in more than one meal. So that's awesome. Add whole grains and beans to your meal. So have you guys ever tried mixing beans into your meat? It definitely lets the meat go further. So when you add anything to meat, such as maybe even a zucchini to your meat, it just adds bulk and it's also healthy for you. So that's an idea for you guys to do. Also, anything that you make a big batch of, I just have examples of beans or quinoa that you can freeze. I do this a lot. But you can do this with other things such as meat even, to freeze and be able to use for quick use later. I bought a huge bag of black beans and lentils from Costco, and I just make them a huge batch at a time, put them into bags of 1 to 2 cups. So it's super simple just to grab and get for my meal, and healthier than canned. So just a quick tip for you. We kind of talked about meal prepping already, why that is budget friendly. Number 7, keep your fridge and freezer organized. This is definitely something that I need to work on better, but it is helpful not only um, to help prevent us from losing something in the back and getting smelly, but also just for ease. And just not rebuying the same thing that we already have is just hidden in the freezer somewhere. Also, like I was talking about, repurposing leftovers, especially meat. This is easy to do if you get a big chicken, make extra meatballs or meatloaf or any kind of meats, roasts, or like sweet potatoes, etc. Like foods like that. If you bake them and can use them in multiple meals during the week, that will save a lot of money and time as well. So let's just quick talk about some food categories. What are these food categories we need, and what do they do? Proteins are basically made of amino acids. They are made up of different combinations in different foods. So depending on what you eat gives you different amino acids, and they help your body function properly, as they are the building blocks for your body, such as your bones, your nails, your muscles, etc. And we need them because they help maintain muscle. So eating enough protein, especially as you're working out and towards your health goals, you want your body to get enough so it can keep building your body instead of taking the protein that is already in your body and using that. You want to have muscle tone. You don't want your body using your muscle to help stay alive, right? Also, protein is really good because it helps you feel full and helps curb your appetite. It takes longer for the body to break it down and prevents that quick. Oh, I'm sorry. It takes a little while for your body to break it down, and also helps. It's a food that doesn't raise your blood sugar, so you want to try to eat protein with everything that you eat. Let's see. So, what are complex versus simple carbs? A simple carb is just made of 1 or 2 sugars molecules, and they are a quick source of energy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are super healthy just because it's a quick source of energy. They're rapidly digested. So, some examples would be sugar, the quick cooking oats, because they are small and have been processed a little bit, and white bread is another quick example. Complex carbs, they have a string of sugars, kind of like a necklace, so it takes longer for the body to break it down. It also prevents that quick rise of blood sugar that the simple carbs gives, which is nice. And most of the time they are also high in fiber, which makes them really filling too. So those examples would be the root vegetables, whole grains, or whole oats, like steel cut oats, and beans or lentils. And let's go to healthy fats real fast. This is another great fuel for your body, and good fats are not bad for you. We need them to help feed our brain and give our skin a healthy glow. So it's a good thing to eat fats. You just need to watch how you're eating them. But good fats even help burn our own body fat and help absorb the vitamins that we need for our body. And not to mention, fats are foods that just help us feel super satisfied. So some examples would be avocados, nuts, butters. Just a quick tip with the nut butters, make sure there's not sugar added to them. So you want the natural nut butters. Healthy oils like avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, etc. And if you aren't anti-dairy, butter is actually a really good healthy fat to have. Vegetables and fruits. Why eat vegetables? I think we all know that vegetables are good for us, but a lot of times this is the least craved food source, and the least want to eat food source, but it's actually the most important. I'm sure we all would rather have anything but a stalk of celery, but there are so many different vegetables, so many different health benefits. You guys can find vegetables that you enjoy eating and ways to cook them that you will enjoy eating. I think the more you eat them, the more you'll like them, I promise. And it's kind of cool to see that, science proves what God knew in the first place when He created vegetables. They protect against so much and benefit our body so much. They may protect against certain types of cancer, and diets that are rich in these fruits and vegetables can reduce heart disease, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. So they are a powerful supply of vitamins and nutrients that our body needs. So they're super filling, super good for us, and low in calories. So moving on to dairy and eggs. Um, I know that sometimes people think that dairy is an unhealthy thing to eat. Um, so if you feel like you are not into dairy, that's fine. But just something to think about too, especially with milk. The way that milk has been processed these days, they cook it at high temperatures and pretty much cook out most of the benefits of a dairy milk. Also cooking out lactase, which is what is needed to digest lactose. So that's probably a lot of reasons why if you buy store-bought milk, it may make you feel uncomfortable. So raw is always best. Raw and pasteurized, anything that you buy is a lot better. Not pasteurized, I mean raw and free range. Same with eggs. Eggs that are not caged eggs or grain-fed eggs have a lot higher omega-3 than omega-6, and that is really good for us. The last thing I'm just going to talk about really quick with the spices and condiments is to make sure you read the food labels, because there's so much hidden junk in those pre-made spices even, and definitely salad dressings. And soy products. Soy is in everything. Unsaturated oils. Just always remember, homemade is best. But if you don't have the energy, if you don't have the time, or you really don't want to make your own, just consider paying a little bit more for the healthier options. And for example, I make my own blackening seasoning for fish and shrimp, and it's just nice to know there's nothing that is not good for me in there, because I just literally mix up a bunch of spices and I have it for when I need it. I also made a file in our group that you can go and click on the articles that gives you more information on each of these categories. And knowledge really is power, because I want you guys to have the knowledge to be able to make those healthier decisions and why we need to make those healthier decisions. So another really easy way to begin learning portions and how much of each category you should be eating to help fuel your body but not go overboard, if that's something that you're struggling with, is the 21-day fix and the containers that come with that. It's so easy. I love that there's no counting of calories, there's no counting of anything. It just kind of helps you realize how much of each category is a healthy amount. So that's really healthy, and a big win, I'd say. How to read a food label. This is our last little category, our last little slide, and we'll be done. But I just wanted you guys to realize a few things about the food labels and the front of a container. Don't just read the front advertisement. This is where the food industry has gotten a lot of people, and they are kind of sneaky. So you'll read some food labels that say fat-free, they'll say reduced fat whole grains, just the label organic, multigrain, natural, no sugar added, fruit flavored, gluten-free. All of these things are kind of sneaky because it doesn't necessarily mean healthy when you read these things. But most people think, oh, yay, whole grains, this has got to be good for me. Just because it says whole grains doesn't mean it has very many whole grains, right? Take, for example, Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puffs says it has whole grains in it and that it's part of, what do those advertisements say? Part of your healthy breakfast or something like that. That's kind of ridiculous. We all know Cocoa Puffs and any of that cereal is not healthy. In no way is Cocoa Puffs healthy. And in fact, we can get this into another time, but actually no cereal is healthy, even if it says organic. But speaking of organic, if it just says organic, that doesn't mean that it's certified. So you want to make sure it says certified organic, so you're not paying more for absolutely no benefit. Also, no sugar added also is kind of the same line as fat-free. You've got to look and see what they substituted for the fat-free, reduced fat, no sugar added, etc. Because most likely they added some sort of chemical to it to make it that way. So it's actually going to be worse for you than just eating a full-fat something, if that makes sense. Fruit flavored doesn't mean there's very much fruit, and it's probably mostly made with a processed food. Same with gluten-free. Just because something says gluten-free does not mean it's necessarily that great for you. What is used in the place of gluten? So the biggest thing to do is to read the ingredient list. This is the biggest tip. Products that are, whatever you're buying, the products that are listed by quantity. So whatever is made up in your product that you're buying, look at the ingredients, and it goes from highest to lowest. So the first 3 ingredients is going to be what's the main ingredients of what you are buying. So try to choose the foods that have whole foods as the first 3 ingredients. And as a rule of thumb, if it's longer than 2 to 3 lines, it's a highly processed junk food. Something that it's full of fillers and is not filling your body properly. It's filling your stomach but not fueling your body, giving it what your body actually needs. So watch for that, and if you're really trying to work on eating healthier, then really, really, really try to look at that ingredient list and think, is this really beneficial for me to buy and eat? And watch the serving sizes as well. A lot of times we eat a lot more than the serving size says. So if you're just quick glancing and thinking, oh, this really doesn't have very many calories or whatever, or that much sugar, realize that you need to stop at the serving size if you're trying to keep yourself from getting too much sugar or too many carbs, etc. And it's not all about the calories. The calories don't matter if it's not a good food. So what you really want to pay attention to is what that food is made up of. That's the most important thing to look on when you're looking at that food label. Also, lastly, just be sure to look for those hidden sugar names, because it doesn't always just say ingredient sugar. It'll say high fructose corn syrup, or maple syrup, or malt syrup, rice bran syrup, lots of syrups, maltose, maltodextrin, etc., etc. Those are all hidden sugar names. So just to be aware, if you're trying to cut out sugar, look for those hidden names, and don't buy those foods if they have them. So I hope this was helpful for you gals. Just remember, it isn't about overwhelming you with the changes that you need to make. It's about learning, knowing the things that you can do, and make small changes each day, each week, each month to become a healthier you, for not only just yourself but also your family. So I hope this was helpful. And like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you have advice for me, I would love to hear it. So thanks so much, guys. Happy weekend.